Hello, how are you? Great to be here as always. Today is Thursday, 22nd of May. Hope everyone's having a good day wherever you are. Uh, Hang around to the end of this. I'll be gifting 5 Tea Club memberships. All you have to do is be in the chat and click on the link when it comes up. So hang around to the end. That will be coming your way at the end of this presentation. On passive wise, OES, nothing to report. I'd look again this morning, still exactly the same. Obviously, we're waiting for our CEO, Mufareh. Nothing scheduled for this week, as far as I know. Obviously, we will come to you when we do hear anything new. And obviously, that information will be put in the pop-up in your OES. But for now, what I'm doing is trying to bring something to my lives that is of interest and might make you think a little bit. And also, an awful lot of what I'm doing appertains to our CEO, Mufareh. And I've been finding it very interesting, really, particularly picking individual words and then researching them. Yesterday's, I really enjoyed doing courage, definition of courage yesterday. And when I was researching that, it threw up a lot of words that, again, I wanted to research a little bit more. And one of those was humility. And again, I started researching it, and it really started making me think a little bit more about what humility is all about. And I've got a very short, well, short 7-minute video to show you in a moment that I really think is very on point about what we all think of ourselves and how sometimes the quiet people are a lot stronger than we give them credit for. Big thank you to, so that will be coming in a moment. Big thank you to Chris Johnson for his live today and for letting my birthday tomorrow out the bag. That's very kind of you. I was doing my very best to keep that under wraps. Say again? I banned Jane from mentioning it on Monday Fun Day, and Chris Johnson, he messaged me yesterday and he said, Red, is it your birthday on Friday? And I said, and he said, great, I'm going to blow you up tomorrow. So there you go. In advance, thank you so much for all of the messages. It's very kind of you. I was trying to sort of sneak away with it, really. Not going to happen. Anyway, there you go. So without further ado, let me share with you this video. That's on. Let me have a look. So let me go to this. And this is a guy, he's got 1.1 million followers. And obviously, as you can see, he's a reverend over in the United States. And what he's got to say really is absolutely amazing. So enjoy, and I'll come back in afterwards.
To be both humble and confident at the same time.
I feel genuinely nervous to release this to the public. If you are a coach, a service provider, or you sell any kind of high-tech...
Is it? I don't know. Just kidding. Hi, my name is Father Mike Schmitz, and this is Ascension Presents. We fall into this trap of not understanding either of those words. Like we can think like, well, humble and confident. You can never be both humble and confident because we don't understand what humility is. And I don't know if we really understand even what confidence is. So let's break it down. I think oftentimes we think, and maybe I've said this before, I think that humility is thinking less of yourself, right? I'm sure you've heard the Rick Warren / C.S. Lewis quote, humility is not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less, which I think is really, really great because it clarifies a couple things. The humble person is not the, aw shucks, I'm no good. The humble person is not the one who shrinks. Again, sometimes we have this picture in our minds that the more humble you are, the more you shrink back from doing anything. The more you shrink back from greatness, the more you shrink back from being bold, the more you shrink back from speaking up, the more humble you are, the smaller you are. I think sometimes we fall into that trap because it's not true that the humble you are, the smaller you are. That a person can actually take the reins, the person can actually take the wheel, the person actually can lead in a powerful and bold and confident way while being humble. Just like a person can shrink while being proud. So what is true humility? I would say true humility is nothing more and nothing less than simply being willing to tell the truth and to live in that truth. I'll say it like this: the willingness to tell the truth and the confidence to live in that truth. So the truly humble person would be able to say, I'm really good at X, and also I'm not good at Y. Or the truly humble person would be able to say, someone says, hey, that was a really good job. They'd be able to say, yeah, it was a good job. Thank you very much. I can receive that compliment. The truly humble person can receive a compliment, and the truly humble person can receive a criticism. And it's true. You can accept the criticism with confidence and humility and live in that truth. If it's not true, this is the crazy thing. If the compliment is not true or the criticism is not true, then the truly humble person isn't bothered either, because they know the truth and they have the confidence to live in the truth. That's one of the reasons why every one of us can choose to be a humble person simply by choosing to acknowledge the truth and to be comfortable and at peace and confident in that truth. In fact, confidence is not opposed to humility. I would say this. I would say confidence is an essential part of humility. Believe in the word confidence. It comes from two words, right? Con fide, which means with faith. So to live with confidence and to live confidently is to live with faith. I would say it like this, is to live in trust. People talk about we just really need to build up people's self-confidence. You need to build up people's self-esteem. And I would say, well, yes, okay, that's wonderful. But how does confidence grow? I would maintain that confidence primarily comes from competence. That the more competent you are, the more confident you are. So think about you're driving your car by yourself. Now, the more competent you are at driving your car, the more confident you are about driving your car. If you had to get a flat tire, but you're like, I don't know how to change a tire. I don't know how to fix a flat tire. So I'm not competent, therefore I'm not confident. But if you do know, actually, cars really well, and your car breaks down, you're probably pretty confident that you can fix it. Why? Because you have the competence to be able to fix your car. So critically, competence leads to confidence, which is one of the reasons why the pursuit of excellence in our lives, the more excellent you become, the more confident you ought to be. We've seen it 1,000 times, right? Someone is good at one thing, and so they claim to or think of themselves as an expert in everything. I mean, this happens all of the time, maybe even with people on YouTube. But if someone's good at one thing, sometimes they have this distorted confidence, this distorted sense of themselves that they must be automatically good at everything. If they have a really good take on X, they must have a great take on A through the other letters. Like a truly humble person would know, oh, I have competence in changing a tire. Therefore, I'm confident when it comes to changing a tire. I don't have as much competence in, fly fishing, for example. Therefore, I'm not confident about that. But the more a person is willing to acknowledge the truth and walk in that truth, the more confident they would be, because they know the truth. I'm going into a situation where I am competent, therefore into a situation where I'm confident. But if I also know I'm going into a situation where I'm not competent, I have the humility, again, acknowledging the truth, that here's a situation where I'm going to need some help. Therefore, I have the boldness, the courage, the forthrightness, the fortitude to be able to ask for help, because in this case, I'm not competent. Therefore, I'm not confident I can do it on my own, but I'm also humble, so I can ask someone for help. Does that make sense? These two things, these humility and confidence, they really do go together. But above everything else, we know this. We know that at the end of the day, we know that we're not enough. That's what humility will remind us of. Because then humility.
Okay, how was that? Hope everybody enjoyed it. I certainly really did enjoy it. Actually, when I first watched it, I thought that it was, I thought that he was a really, really good speaker. This guy, he he was saying a different side of humility that I hadn't sort of come across before. Obviously, he's the man of the cloth, and obviously, a lot of what he was talking about was from a religious point of view. But there was a couple of things in there that I want to talk about in a moment. But let's just go to what humility says in the dictionary. It is the quality of having a modest or low view of one's importance. But, and here is the but, if you look at what is the meaning of humility, it is a feeling or attitude that you have no special importance that makes you better than others, as in it puts you down rather than bigging you up. Now, what I loved about this guy was saying, no, that's absolute rubbish. If you stick to living in the truth, which is what he was talking about, then you have extreme confidence and humility, if what he was. Now, I'm going to switch this round to our CEO, Mufareh. Now, we all know that he's got humility because of what he does, what he said, and how he presents himself. He's a very humble person, so he has a lot of humility. But I also believe that a lot of his competence comes and it gives him the confidence to do what he is doing right now. Living in the truth, knowing the truth of what is happening and where he is, gives him the competence to be confident about where we are going in this next phase. It all aligns, it all comes into the same circles. And like the Reverend was saying, if you are living in the truth, it doesn't make any difference to you if somebody is negative towards you. Why? Because you have that confidence, knowing what the truth is, that negativity, when it is put towards you, has no effect. Why? Because you're confident. And where did you get that confidence from? Because you are confident with the status quo of what you are trying to do. You are knowledgeable. Let's go all the way back with our CEO, Mufareh, for instance. How confident is he about marketing? Why is he confident about marketing? Because that's his thing. That is where he is extremely competent, because he knows how to do it. And so any negativity, any knockbacks he gets, it doesn't make any difference to him, because he knows his competence within the marketing strategies, that he's very confident that he will have the desired outcome from it moving forward. He's already told us that he is making that part of the next phase extremely special because of his knowledge base of all of that. He's living in the truth once again. That's his humility. This is where he gets his strength from. A lot of it is because that he knows what the truth is. I can't say it any other way than that. He has the big picture. He has all of the pieces of the puzzle. They might not be making a picture right now, but he has all of those pieces laid out on the table, and he knows that each one of those pieces of the puzzle, when he starts making the picture, are going to make something very special. That's where the confidence comes in, because the truth behind it is what gives him that confidence. Again, when I'm researching these things, I end up going down lots of little rabbit holes. For instance, the YouTube for the Reverend. I listened to a couple of guys talking about humility and its meanings and all the rest of it. But when I listen to this guy, and he's got over 1 million subscribers, something really clicked with me. And I thought, do you know something? It's like listening to a guy talking about our CEO, Ash Mufareh, that inner truth, that inner knowledge that he has about himself, that he manages to have this very, very confident aura around him. And that comes from the competence that he has within the industry. I really believe that all of these things that I've been researching, I've been looking at, these words that mean an awful lot, our CEO has so many of these attributes already within him. I think we all feel that he's a special person. I think we all feel that he's not cut from the same cloth as many. I think we all feel that he is destined to do something really special. And this is why I think all of us who are positive about the next phase really do align ourselves with our CEO, Ash Mufareh, because of these individual parts that I've been going over: courage, humility, confidence, the ability to forgive and forget. All of these types of things make him a very special person. And this is why I'm really enjoying at the moment researching these words. And a lot of these words he's actually mentioned himself. And I've taken them, looked into them, tried to find people that talk about those sides of things that really do shine the light on our CEO. I think what I'm trying to say here is that what I'm trying to say is that I really believe that he is a special person. I think that's the bottom line of what I'm trying to say. And if you believe, like I do, that special things are going to come from him in this next phase, then I think that you will always be in a position where you are confident in him. I certainly am. And I get a lot of solace from doing what I'm doing, researching these things, and it always comes back to our CEO, Ash Mufareh. Every time that I do a bit of research on these words, it loops back round in some way to our CEO, Ash Mufareh. Why do I know this? Because I've been listening to him for 7 years. I've been on the webinars for 7 years. I've heard how he speaks for 7 years, and it's sunk in. I really do believe the things that people say are our CEO, Ash Mufareh. Anyway, guys, that's it from me for today. No live from me tomorrow, as it's my birthday, but on Saturday, well, we might be going for lunch, aren't we? You wanted to go for lunch?
Yes, you can come and say hello.
Oh, I'll come and say hello then. It'll be short and sweet.
He will come and say hello, guys, right?
I'll come and say hello. But I was going to say, even without that, I'm going to do a Q&A on Saturday. Okay. So if you've got any questions about where you want to be or what you're thinking or whatever, as long as they're not negative, as long as they're constructive, as long as they are words that or questions, should I say, that are going to help others, then I am more than happy to read them out and to answer them in the best of my knowledge. Anyway, there you go, guys. Speak to you all tomorrow now, obviously, on my birthday. That's it from me. Bye for now.